لحظة واحدة، في مشكلة في اللايف. Okay, now we are live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good day for all of those around the world, and good morning, and those who are in America. Now, today we are having the first episode and a very special guest. Actually, our first encounter, Hisham, was back in 2013 when I started with you, and you selected me
Yes.
to work in the assessment centers.
It was my pleasure.
And it has been a real journey for about 8 years now, and an amazing mentor, amazing teacher, amazing pioneer in the field here of HR and people management in Egypt and people management consultancy, Hisham Badawi. Welcome, Hisham. Yeah, how is everything? How are you, Hisham?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So today,
Sharaf, do you have audiences and participants right now, or still they are coming?
yes, they are starting. Yes, starting to show up. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Hisham, today I believe that I'm privileged to be to actually host you today and actually to talk about people management consultancy. As a history, how it evolved. You've witnessed it all. It's been there for something like 20 years now. And
Yes,
so
we
the
started
evolution.
1995. Yes, 1995. Yes, Sharaf. Yes.
Wow, 26 years. Wow. So that's
Yes.
been a quarter of a century. When I believe 1995, there was nobody understanding what the heck about people
Exactly.
management. And, yeah. So I would love to hear the stories from you. I'm just here to learn and see the evolution of the people management and its consultancy and how it started as personnel. How it was. What actually took you there in the beginning.
Actually, Sharaf, yes, exactly as you mentioned, 1995, the HR was not that popular, and even the understanding of the term of HR was not that clear. People were talking about personnel, administration, etc. So, yes, exactly. We observed the revolution and the change in the mindsets of people and the market and the companies as well. And yes, exactly as you mentioned, it was a really straightforward administration role. As we all know, it was about attendance, benefits, medical insurances and contracting and etc. And this stayed for a long time, actually, till I think 2004, 5, 6. Still, the HR was an administrative role. And afterwards, we went for another phase or era, which is the HR started to be a transactional role. For hiring, for promotion, for learning and development, etc. Afterwards, and now we reach the strategic role of HR. So now businesses understand the value of HR people and the value of the HR experts and how they can shape their future together with the business. It's not separated from the business. And it's not just supportive for the business, although it's definitely, we as an HR people, we support the business, but we are not only supporting the business. We shape and we interfere in building the direction and the vision and the mission, etc. Yes, exactly as you mentioned, there is a big change and revolution in the HR since 1995 till now.
Wow. So you witnessed it all, and actually, starting from being, an engineer. I know that your background is engineering, and this is something that we may have in common. And what pulled you towards this? What they call it, this new field, or bringing in or advocating for this field, especially that nobody was actually attending, that it is a service that anybody can actually ask or get.
Sharaf, sorry, but I didn't hear you properly. The last sentence, it was cutting a little bit up.
I'm sorry for that. So,
can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you well. Yes. So,
Okay, yes.
just I was asking about the fact that what actually. Can you hear me now?
I'm trying.
Just one moment. I'll check something in my connection. Just one moment. Okay.
Okay, just wait for a second, and I think it will be solved. I think we lost Sharaf.
No, I'm here. Yeah. Can you see me now? Hello? Hello. So it seems we're having today some technical problems with the internet. Maybe yeah.
Hi, Sharaf, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I adjusted something here with the internet. So do you have? Yeah. So it's sometimes happen. You know, we're
Yes,
in a vacation today, and normally in public holidays they sometimes maintain the internet and the backbone and the stuff. So it's a very good opportunity for.
yes, yes. I didn't
So
hear the last question that you were asking
yeah,
HR.
I was asking. Yeah, I know that your background, Hisham, is before being in the field of HR, especially in 1995. I recall the market was actually didn't expect such a service. Consultancy was a bit, sometimes people were as consultants came in for sales, for marketing, advisory, or something like this,
Yes.
but it was not and sometimes financial, but not for HR and people. I don't recall that at this period of time people, and actually being an evangelist or somebody who's a pioneer or somebody who brings in such a service in 1995 and being an advocate for it and starting such a consultancy firm, I believe it was really something that's very courageous. Can you tell me the drivers to switch from engineering field into HR consulting and promoting this as a service and taking and seeing the evolution, like yeah.
Yes, yes. Actually, it was a complete by chance. Actually, that's why I was not planning for that. I was a biomedical engineer, and I was traveling a lot to Japan. Sharaf, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Actually, the voice is a bit. It's a bit breaking, a bit breaking. Yeah,
I think now it's better. Yeah.
Hisham. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So, going back to the story, I was in Japan for a lot of training sessions for part of my experience, and I get introduced to the HR in Japan. And since that, I was impressed that there's a lot of science that we don't know anything about. And when I came back, when I come back to Egypt at that time, it was one of my inspiration to try to get into this field while mixing it with the technology and the engineering. And it was initially, we started as a technical recruitment agency, 1995. We were recruiting
Wow.
the engineers and technicians. And then that's becoming, it's more diversified, etc. So we jumped into the consultancy assessment and the learning and development, HR learning and development in specific. But what I want to go through, Sharaf, that noticing the change, and let's take it for the current and the future. And when we're talking about administrative role for the HR and then personnel, and after that transactional HR practices, and now and the supportive functions, and now we are coming to the strategical and visionary role with the organizations. I can see a lot of changes in the practices. And I want you to give us one simple example. Normally, we get to stick to the job description while we are hiring people or measuring the performance of people, etc. This was a very traditional, historical piece of info that each one of the organization should have a clear job description, and it's sometime people include in the contracts in order to have your limitation and understanding of the role. Nowadays, it's not as before. I don't believe that the job description is necessary nowadays. We don't want a very static agreement between the employer and the employee. We want a very agile, dynamic, energized agile scope. So job descriptions is becoming دلوقتي خلاص حاجة بتنتهي. We are moving into KPIs and business processes and business process and the relation between each jobs and the roles. So this is one clear example that the past HR practices is nowadays changing. So job description is one example. Performance management is another example, Sharaf. We get to go through a full performance management cycle, starting planning at the beginning of the year, mid-year review, and then performance appraisal at the end of the year. Nowadays, things are more fast and the pace is different. So we have the check-ins. We don't have one evaluation at the end of the year. We have check-ins on monthly or quarterly basis. So performance management becoming again more agile. The dynamic of the business is changing. So the HR is coping with this. This is reflecting to what you were saying about how we can observe what we are observing through the years from 1995 till now. This is one. I believe that you have the same view about the traditional practices of HR and the modern and the future ones.
Yeah, actually, I see a lot of differences, and actually, you know, in the past, I believe that especially in the Arab countries, it was very, as you stated, it was very administrative and static when it came to the roles and the job fit and what is expected, you know, and the lifetime even of the job was longer, lengthier. In a way, it had a clear dependence on boundaries between roles and each other. I believe in these days, with the major changes that are happening in the industries, in the shape of the economics and this stuff, I believe that companies are now demanding more agility. You know, you came up with this, you know, with the agility, and actually HR now, you cannot actually define a static role or a static performance management system or a static, even the employer value proposition with the new generations and the new demands is coming in with, you know, that's what was actually very attractive to the previous generations doesn't make any value of any kind for the new generation.
Yes, and we should stop doing this traditional unnecessary practices. يعني حرام the organization spend a lot of effort and focus on updating the job description. It's not the job description. It's the job role, the job scope of the person, the KPIs that expected to come, key performance indicators expected to come out of this role. It's not just the task and list of things to do and not to do in my job.
Okay, I believe that يعني over the years and actually witnessing JobMaster Group, you know, how it evolved. I recall that you were sponsoring lots of recruitment events when I was a graduate, and then afterwards being a senior manager, there were other recruitment events that was actually looking for managers, and then afterwards you became 4 divisions or more, and then now you are a group of companies, you know, like bringing in more specialization and tactics to cope with the client needs. So actually, there is a comment that is coming now from Hiba Shafai. She's saying, you are certainly adding a great value to your visionary leadership, dear Hisham. And I second her. I second actually Hiba.
Thank you, Hiba,
and she's wishing for you more and more prosperity or years to come. And actually, this is something that I believe strongly in that, Hisham. So
thank you, Hiba, very much. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Sharaf.
Thank you. And
Sorry,
actually,
please,
can you tell me, Hisham, how you were envisioning this? You know, how this actually was evolving and envisioning. I just want to hear the Hisham kind of story. It's not, you know, not that.
والله طب شرف خليني اقول لك الجيرني في الاول. كل كان السورس اوف انفورميشن او understanding of the HR industry is coming from outside. We were lucky enough ان احنا were exposed to the European HR practices, فكنا دايما بيبقى عندنا step ahead in the Egyptian market. Nowadays we are more or less at the same level. There is nothing that's applied in Europe and not applied in Egypt or in the Middle East region, because خلاص يعني الانفورميشن والنولج بقى موجود everywhere ومفيش تايم كبير ما بنلاقي كتاب فيه حاجه مكتوبه عن HR وابعت حد يشتريه لي او انا I'll travel to bring the book وكده. خلاص information is everywhere. We understand the benchmarking, the best practices, etc. Previously our edge was being exposed to the European market, gave us some value for our markets. But nowadays the edge is not in the knowledge. The edge is how we can integrate the HR with the business. We're trying all our effort in how to add value for the business, not to update or develop the HR practices, because it's really a misperception if we focus on the HR practitioners or experts in how to develop our industry. For one of very clear examples, when we are going to assess people, it's not about how professional we are in assessing the individuals. It's how suitable this assessment matching the business needs and requirements. We don't want to spend weeks in evaluating someone and the business is damaged because we are not giving the business what the business is looking for. Being integrated and aligned with the business need is the key. It's not being experts in HR وخلاص. We should really get involved in the business, and this is one of the advices that I keep telling for the HR people, that you shouldn't focus on the HR. You should focus on the business, and afterward you see how the HR is supporting the business in whatever shape or form. And this is one of the things that I learned, يا شرف, through my journey. It's not being أحسن واحد بيعمل HR في الدنيا. It's being أكتر واحد فاهم the business needs.
Yeah, so it's really amazing, Hisham, because actually I believe that your school actually brought into the market many experts. I believe that lots of experts that I deal with in the HR field, in a way or another, they worked with you at some day, or at least
الحمد لله
70% of those. So you're actually a school, that actually is very generous in sharing, knowledge, experience, and yeah, and this is something I have, and actually I believe in the region even. I actually encountered many who work in the Gulf. Even they were ex job master at some point of their life. So I believe how can you connect this leadership style that actually is very generous in actually teaching people, exporting experts outside. So how does it work with you? This is really I believe it has been always in the culture of job master of teaching,
I'm
bringing
afraid to
in
say
talents,
that
new talents. Yeah.
I'm afraid, Sharaf, to say that we encourage people to get exposed outside our company. Normally, people want to retain their employees. Yes, we are trying to retain definitely our people because we are very keen about our people. But because we are that keen, we encourage them to go and have some more exposure outside. Being in a consultancy firm not always give you the proper experience. Moving into corporate life or operational experiences give you more diversity and more practices. And sorry to say, there's a lot of things that you learn from the corporates. Why I'm saying sorry to say, because politics and dealing with hidden agendas or dealing with unclear planned and not transparent environment, this gives you a lot of learning. In consultancy, we don't have this kind of challenges, but in operation, because there's a lot of competition, a lot of different demands, you experience things that you never experienced while you're advising from outside. When you be part of the team, there's a lot of things that you're learning. So this is one of the things that we encourage people as a consultant, if they started their career in a consultancy firm, that they go outside to learn this kind of dynamics in the business, and they come back more experienced as a consultant, or vice versa. So this is one of the things that we started to encourage people. Previously, I was not convinced. I was under the impression that being a consultant, it gives you a value, that you are seeing things from outside. You are not biased. You are not dragged into the politics. But I learned now that it's good to understand how things, the mechanism of how things goes into the corporates.
Wow. Actually, I believe that the first time I hear this from one of my friends who was working for you, and he was actually taking his steps out of the. He was actually in a very good position when working with you at this time, and he took this step outside, and then he took his cycle outside, and he came back again as a manager of the department he was working
Yes.
with. Actually, it was really I'm really amazed of how you are permeable, you know, how you promote this. Actually, you actually attract this, and how you it's something like, you know, putting a seed in another person's farm, and you know that the fruits will come down on your floor.
Well, honestly, Ashraf, even if it
Huh?
didn't come to our floor, and enhancing and developing the market, it's a benefit for everyone. We want a lot of good, experienced HR people to get involved in the market, and to develop the HR understanding. And again, previously, we as an HR people was perceived as a very supportive function within the organization, shared services or support service, etc., etc. But nowadays, people started to realize that we should be sitting on the strategic meetings. We should be sitting on the board level. We should be, as an HR people, get involved in the decision making of the organization. We're not just fulfilling the business needs without being involved in the business direction. And this is Sharaf, surprisingly, الconcept that is becoming very, very mature nowadays. A lot of organizations are thinking of HR as a strategic partner, not only as a supportive or executional arm.
So through this evolution, I believe that still I see youngsters who are working in different organizations who are still starting their career in HR, and maybe taking some HR diplomas here and there, you know, from different professional bodies or something, and they still don't understand the essence of their business. I still, you know, still when we are moving in the market and seeing, you know, those who are in HR operations of some small and medium enterprises, especially in that, you still encounter a lack of, you know, this kind of strategic partnership. They're still doers, you know, they're still in the administration slash transactional part. So how can you know, organizations, you know, the HR consultancy and the people management, how can you know, the culture of the leaders and the culture of the HR personnel can be enhanced to understand the strategic role of the HR function that they have, so that they act so
Yes, Sharaf, for the first impression, كده, we got the feeling that this is the accountability of this coming from the CEOs or the top management in the organization, in order to embed this mindset that you are talking about. But actually, I believe, and I think that we are, as an HR, we are the one who is responsible on putting the value of the HR within the organization on a higher level, not on the very supportive level. If we are seeking to understand the business, if we are asking the right questions, if we are attending the right meetings, if we are understanding our business properly, we will be able to advise on how to enhance the business through the HR function or department. If people started to feel that we are adding a real value, they will give us more space to get involved, to be part of the direction of the organization. If they see us as just a receiver of a request, and we are doing our best in order to enhance applying the HR practices to fulfill the request وخلاص, we will keep putting ourselves and be perceived as a very supportive function. We are the ones who should learn more about the business. And Sharaf, and as you know now, the HR practice is moving into HR partners rather than just HR practitioners. So the idea of being an HR partner is to understand the function or the department or the business unit that you are partnering with. And again, I put the accountability on the HR people, because they are the one who should do the extra mile. They should do the step in order to understand the business more and to support the business. وزي ما كلنا عارفين الحق يؤخذ ولا يمنح. فبالتالي أنا I should get my position properly through my effort and understanding and value.
Wow. Actually, it's actually somebody is actually complaining from the internet. Okay, so that's something I believe.
Sorry.
There's still, yeah, no, it's not about. Don't be sorry. It's what it is. What it is. Alhamdulillah. So now actually you're talking about the HR partner and the value they're bringing to the business and to their understanding the business function that they are representing. So what kind of competences do you see that, when a leader is hiring an HR business partner, what kind of competences do you promote that is at least, that this person will be beneficial to your organization? How can, yeah.
Yes, Sharaf. طبعا there's a lot of competencies, but if I talk about the real adding value competencies, and I see that business acumen is extremely important, not the HR experience at all now. It's the business acumen first, then the eagerness to learn, and the agility and the adaptability in order to be able to change things and to have this kind of accepting, changing the normal traditional HR practices that we learned throughout the years and changing to adapt the new business requirements. I think these three competences are extremely important: business acumen, eagerness to learn, and agility. Afterward, the HR experiences or practices, and it's very easy to learn and to acquire, and it's very easy to teach someone how to do an interview and how to be an assessor and how to be a trainer. I think this is the easy part of the job, but the tough part and the difficult part is to have a higher level of understanding and your willingness in order to keep learning the business, not the HR only. Again, life is too dynamic right now, so I think we should be from within accepting, changing our traditional mindset of how we do things in HR, and to try different things, even if we don't have a proof that this will work. We should have the acceptance of trying and learning and new approaches. And again, Sharaf, talking about job description, I advise a lot of businesses in order to stop putting effort on creating and developing and establishing job description, and instead putting the effort on building a proper business process and a proper KPI per position. It takes a lot of convincing for an organization to let go the idea of job descriptions, and especially the big corporates and big organizations. They feel that if they don't have the job description, they'll not be secured. People are doing things that you're not being able to control. However, no one is using the job description in the day-to-day life. It's just a safety practice, but we don't need job description anymore. Again, for the performance management, the performance appraisal at the end of the year, we all know that it's not accurate. We all know. No one is claiming that the performance appraisal is as accurate as expected, but we keep doing it. Why? Because we want to follow the process. It's not the process. It's the value out of the process. What's the business get benefit out of what we are doing? We are not just want to be in the safe side. We want to add value for the business.
That I recall that when we had some sort of performance management, and actually the managers were doing it just to fulfill their KPIs that they are doing performance management. We used to call it like مولد سيدي الperformance. الappraisal. مولد سيدي الappraisal inside the organization. I recall this.
With no value for anyone.
Everybody is just doing this ritual as kind of because it should be done. It's not because the essence of it is just to take a real feedback and actually make sure that this is
and this is applied,
applied,
Sharaf, for the learning and development. We send people for training courses just to make sure that now you're becoming a manager, so you should attend the management skills workshop. It's not necessary. We should understand the real value that he or she will get and what they need as individuals, not as a level for the organization. And organizations invest a lot of money, or actually they waste a lot of money in this kind of traditional programs that we learn that we should do it for several people. So again, understanding the business will give us more capability and ability to design a proper solution for the business to benefit our organization. At that time, and only that time, we will perceive as a strategical role instead of a very transactional executional role.
Amazing, Hisham. Now we are almost at the top of the 30 minutes, and actually, I would love to not only thank you about this experience, but I have lots of questions that are related to our market and this region and its specific culture and how the challenges of how this, this transformation happened from 1995 to now. There are lots of cultural specifics that are actually very local, like it's Egyptian, it's GCC, it's, it's Arab, it's in a way that may have been challenging, during the transformation. Even the Western tools or knowledge that you were actually importing was not working, and in a way you went through the governments and you went through with the family businesses. And I would love actually to have another discussion with you on this. Are you okay for that?
My pleasure. For sure, my pleasure always.
Yes, so can we do this in maybe 2 weeks or 1 month? What would you like?
Yes, yes, for sure. لا, it's my pleasure. والله, it's my pleasure, Sharaf. And if there's any questions, we can even take it from today and then answer it next time, inshallah.
Inshallah. So I would love actually to have this discussion with you, but because of the 30 minutes, we try not to make it longer than that for the podcast.
My pleasure.
So yeah, thank you. So what would you like to maybe tell like a closure for this episode? Like what is the learning? Like a wisdom nugget,
لا يعني هو very simple thing ان احنا لازم نخرج من الكلاشيهات بتاعت الاتش ار. لازم نبتدي نفكر business and then we support the business with our HR experience. Stop thinking that we are HR experts وخلاص. We are a business oriented people experienced in the HR industry. Exactly as the commercial people, the operational people, the financial people. We are driving the business as well. We are not just doers. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Hisham. And actually, this is a major learning, and I believe that JobMaster is really doing that, and the group, and now I believe that it's now a bigger group that's now it's a global impact, right? Do you like to talk about it and how you serve your clients? That would be great.
Yes, actually, we JobMaster, we are becoming part of a bigger group. It's called Global Impact Consulting Group. It consists of different consultancy firm in HR, marketing, sales, IT, finance. So we are now being exposed to Middle East and Africa more than before, and having integrated the HR with other consultancy services give us a value and edge we can provide to our partners and our clients. That's it.
Thank you, Hisham. And here now Saif is saying, happy to watch you both and sending love.
Saif, our pleasure. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. So thank you, Hisham. I'm really very appreciative of today's episode, and inshallah to meet again with another episode after 2 weeks or 1 month. We'll announce it, right?
Inshallah.
And thank you, Hisham, for this.
Thank
really
you, Sharaf,
nice
for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Hisham. Okay.
Bye bye. Safe. Bye bye. Safe, Sharaf, and everyone. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you.